Welcome to the Malolos Clark Railway Joint Site Inspection of PNR Clark Phase 2. To host today's affair, please welcome Kent Rodriguez.
Now, on behalf of the Project Management Office of the Department of Transportation, I thank all of you for joining us as we celebrate another milestone for this project. Please join me in welcoming the Department of Transportation's Undersecretary for Railways, USEC Timothy John R. Batan.
When the Duterte administration started in July 2016 and Secretary Arthur Tugade took the helm of DOTR, it was greeted by a then-stalled Manila Clark or North Rail project, which despite having been conceptualized in 1994, was then very far behind from its vision of seamlessly connecting the growing industrial, commercial, and aviation hub that is Clark and the bustling capital of Metro Manila. 27 years since North Rail was dreamt of in 1994, and just 5 years since Secretary Tugade became the 12th Transportation Secretary who tried to realize and implement the North Rail project. Now, today, we finally stand on very clear, very concrete, and indisputable proof that this project is happening. Long awaited, long talked about, but very much needed, the North South Commuter Railway project is finally becoming a reality. Massive is a word that is often and very appropriately used to describe the North South Commuter Railway project. Since we do not have the time to go through the 53 kilometers of the Phase 2 of PNR Clark Phase 2, we will give you a little walkthrough on what has been happening throughout all of our sites for better appreciation of everyone. So first of all, the North-South Commuter Railway System is a total of 147 kilometers, 35 stations, crossing 3 regions from Central Luzon, NCR, Region 4A, and covering 27 cities and municipalities. It consists of 3 segments. The northern segment, North 2 segment, which is a part of what we are going to inspect today. The middle segment, which is ongoing construction, and of course, the south segment, which is ongoing procurement. PNR Clark Phase 1, as we all know, first 37 kilometers of the project, which is currently ongoing full-scale construction. So this will have 10 stations. It is going to span 38 kilometers. PNR Clark Phase 2 is consisting of 53 kilometers with 6 stations. PNR Calamba, or the South Extension, 56 kilometers with 19 more stations. Now, let's go through a walkthrough of the alignment of Clark Phase 2. So first, for North 1, the first contract package, as you can see, this is the 18-hectare construction yard of our contractor, Hyundai Megawai Donga JV. 18 hectares is the equivalent of 363 basketball courts, for those who may want to have reference on how big that is. This is actual photos from last week. Still at contract package 1, these are the ongoing piling works at Apalit Station. Now going to package 2, the Acciona Dailim joint venture package. Here we see our 14-hectare yard coming to being. Total of 282 basketball courts. For those who have seen the Kalumpit yard for PNR Clark Phase 1, which the Secretary has fondly referred to as a rail city because of its scale, this is the equivalent. It's a 14-hectare yard for contract package 2. Again, piling works for the San Fernando Station, which is part of package 2. Pile dynamic load testing at the Santo Tomas segment of package 2. Now going to package 3 by the Italian Thai Development Company. Here we see their construction yard, 2 construction yards consisting of 9.5 and 9.6 hectares, a total of almost 20 hectares for this package. Piling works ongoing at the Clark Station, which is almost right beside the SM Clark. These are the earthworks and test piling works ongoing at Angeles Station. Now, of course, here behind me is the ongoing excavation works for the Clark International Airport's fully underground station. So this excavation is going to be 20 meters deep, 250 meters in length, and 60 meters wide. We are going to excavate a total of 300,000 cubic meters, and to date, we are now at 5 meters depth. We have 15 meters to go. And if you notice coming here, as you were approaching the site, you might have noticed a lot of construction works ongoing. That is our tunnel segment. Because approaching Clark Airport, coming from the main line in SM Clark, is an underground tunnel segment, which is going to be cut and cover. So this will be similarly 10 to 15 meter depth of excavation. Of course, we have our piling works at the balanced cantilever bridge that we will build across SETEX. So this is one of the more challenging segments of the alignment because we cannot be too low because of SETEX, but we cannot be too high because of the airport. Of course, the largest passenger depot most likely in the region, we have the 36-hectare depot. We call this the Clark Depot, the equivalent of 726 basketball courts. This is only one of the 3 depots for the North South Commuter Railway system. We are going to have a depot in Clark, in Malanday in Valenzuela, and in Banlik in Calamba. So as you can see, we are fully free and clear for this entire contract package. Works are ongoing and on track. Beside this is an even bigger 55-hectare depot for our soon-to-come Subic-Clark Railway project, which is a freight line, which is also already ongoing development. So piling works at the workshop and OCC buildings of the depot are ongoing by our, I forgot to mention our contractor, POSCO ENC. For Package 4, it's Acciona and EEI joint venture. We are full steam ahead to deliver President Duterte's promise of a more comfortable life to every Filipino under the Build, Build, Build program.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, as you may know, this massive undertaking would not have been possible without the funding support and commitment of the Asian Development Bank. It is but right that I give the stage to the country director for the Philippines, Mr. Kelly Bird, to deliver his commitment on behalf of ADB.
Now, the ADB's own estimates show that a $1 billion investment in railways leads to $1.5 billion in additional gross domestic product, and it creates tens of thousands of jobs. So it's going to be hugely important as part of the economic recovery. I'd also like to reiterate that the Asian Development Bank will always remain committed to the Philippines as our host country, and we will continue to support the Philippines not only to overcome the current challenges with COVID, but also on its journey to becoming an upper middle income country very soon. So once again, congratulations and thank you.
Of course, we will not let the ceremony go by without hearing a few words from the project's other lending agency and development partner. It is my honor to introduce the JICA's Chief Representative. So I'll welcome Mr. Eigo Azukizawa.
As everyone knows, JICA is co-financing partner with the Asian Development Bank on the NSCR extension project. This project is also one of prime examples of JICA-ADB partnership for financing quality infrastructure. We are amazed by the fast and continued progress of the project amidst the pandemic. Also, we JICA are confident that the procurement of JICA portion, such as the electromechanical system and rolling stocks, which are now underway, shall reach another successful outcome and provide you with another important milestone in due time. We are looking forward to riding the first ever fastest train in the country that shall reduce the travel time to less than an hour between the Clark International Airport to Makati. It will provide the general public with an efficient, safe, reliable, convenient, environment-friendly, and affordable mass transportation facility that will surely improve their daily commuting experience. Rest assured of our continued support through the transfer of Japanese technology, knowledge, and introduction of Japan's best practices for the country to build the capacity to sustain this development and provide the general public with a reliable transportation services that will continue to be appreciated for the generations to come.
Join me in welcoming the Embassy of Japan's ambassador to the Philippines, His Excellency Koshikawa Kazuhiko.
This project is very important. This is efficient mass transportation for the benefit of many Filipinos. From the current 2-hour travel, the North South Commuter Railway extension will cut travel time from Clark International Airport to Metro Manila to just 1 hour. Hence, the first airport-bound high-speed railway in the Philippines is seen to enhance functionalities of Clark International Airport. It will also boost connectivities and convenience of commuting for those living in surrounding areas of Metro Manila. A total of around 10,000 new jobs are expected during its constructions and once operation begins. The North-South Commuter Railway project as a whole will not only be good for the people, it will also be beneficial to the economies as it helps distribute growth to nearby regions and improve business environment. More technical cooperation underway in connection with this railway project. Our technologies, Japanese technologies, energy-efficient trains, as well as flood-resilient, anti-seismic design adopted in this project. Besides the transfer of technology and maintenance knowledge from Japan to the Philippines, the development of Filipino human capitals for railway operations are promoted. Despite the challenging pandemic situation, important milestones in our transportation project have been launched one after another. This is due in large part to the strong leadership of the contribution of Secretary Tugade and his teams, and for which we are very truly grateful. I'd like to express my sincere appreciation also to the Asian Development Bank for co-financing this project. Time and again, we commit our continuous support to the President Duterte's Build program. This was recently reiterated at Japan-Philippine High-Level Joint Committee on Infrastructure Development and Economic Cooperation held in last July. Japan will further promote cooperation such as the procurement rolling stock and development of railroad systems through JICA ODA support. Let us therefore join hands toward the earliest possible opening of this railway project.
Friends, the lowering of the capsule for today's event marks a time when the NSCR and when an airport express was just but a drawing. But soon, it will be a reality. Ladies and gentlemen, the lowering of the capsule. Again, this marks a time when the NSCR and when an airport express was just but a drawing. But friends, soon it will be a reality.
We have brought the very best from Europe, the very best from Spain, coming together with the very best from Asia.
So our project, our station, where we are right now, is having a width of 44 meters. We are having an excavation right now that you see the footprint of the excavation of the station is 60 meter width. We are having a length of approx 300 meters, 270 meters exactly, and we are going to pour around 70,000 cubic meters of concrete, 14 million kilos of rebar, reinforcement steel, and as you can see right now, if you look on your back, you can see that all the earthworks are progressing. We are installing seat piles. Those seat piles are our retaining walls that will allow us to go farther with the excavation. Our excavation is 20 meter width. We are having seat piles all the water.
More than 90% of the funds for capital outlay proposed by the DOTR to Congress is allotted for railway projects. Why is that?
That's correct that more than 90% of the capital outlay for 2022 is for rail projects. And that's because we are catching up. In 2019, the World Bank did a survey of 119 countries in terms of railway infrastructure. And the Philippines did not just rank at the bottom, the Philippines ranked last. We are the 119th out of 119 countries in terms of railway infrastructure. And that's because we have underinvested. We have not been able to implement rail projects for such a long time. And that's not because we didn't want to, because we've always known that we needed to. This project, for example, the North Rail project, as it was formerly called, was initiated in 1994. The subway project was first thought of in 1973. The LRT-1 Cavite Extension project was approved in the year 2000. The MRT-7 project was submitted in 2001. So we have always known that we need railway projects to avoid the situation that we found ourselves in 2016. And what was that situation? That situation, numerically, was 3.5 billion pesos per day in lost economic productivity. That number is more than twice, that's 240% of total foreign direct investments in 2019 lost. That's 10% of the total capitalization of the stock exchange lost. That's 9% of gross domestic product in 2019 lost. So why do we have to make this investment? Because we need to. We've needed to for the last 2-3 decades. And rail is simply the most efficient form of land transport. The North South Commuter Rail will see our first 8-car train set. So that's why each of our stations are really long. This station is 250 meters long because our first fleet will consist of 8 cars, but we have designed the entire system for 10 cars. And what does that mean? That means that for each and every train that arrives, we can fit more than 2,500 people, which is the equivalent of 800 cars. So just imagine the potential for every train that comes, you remove almost 800 cars from the road, the decongestion effect of this investment, lightening up mobility by this investment. And again, to answer the question, we need this investment to catch up. We needed to make this investment for the last 2 to 3 decades. Again, as I mentioned earlier, Secretary Tugade is the 25th Transport Secretary since North Rail was thought of. That's 25 Transport Secretaries. And only now, what we've been trying to do, what we've known we needed to do over 27 years, Secretary Tugade is making a reality in the last 5 years.
Yes?
May update lang po sana. Good news lang for update by AGM Ces Lauta from PNR.
Yes, AGM?
Yes po. Our first train will be coming in December 2021. So our E&M contractor po will install our first set of tracks where our new trains will sit in. So it is a reality na po and the new trains are coming in. Hindi na po, it's not just a dream, this is a reality. Maraming salamat po.
Okay.
Since the start of the Duterte administration in 2016, the Department of Transportation, under the strong leadership of Secretary Arthur P. Tugade, has been ushering in the golden age of Philippine railway network, with record-breaking investments being made in record scale and in record time. From 9 railway contracts under management in July 2016, the DOTR has awarded and is now implementing 36 railway contracts, with 12 more contracts to be awarded within 2021, each with an average contract amount of 20 billion pesos. These contracts add up to 1 completed project, 7 projects ongoing construction, 1 ongoing rehabilitation, and 5 projects ongoing design and procurement. Among these game-changing projects is the North South Commuter Railway of the DOTR and PNR, which despite being started in 1994 as the Manila Clark North Rail project, only started construction in January 2019. The NSCR consists of a 147-kilometer railway system with 35 stations and 464 train cars, spanning 27 cities and municipalities, 3 provinces, and 3 regions, from Clark International Airport in Luzon through the National Capital Region and all the way to Laguna in Calabarzon. Aside from being the Philippines' single largest railway project, the NSCR also holds the distinction of being the single largest infrastructure project of the Asian Development Bank and the longest commuter railway project of the Japan International Cooperation Agency. Once fully operational, the NSCR will cut down travel time between Clark and Calamba from more than 4 hours down to less than 2 hours. Travel time from the Clark International Airport to Makati City via the country's first airport express service will be under an hour. This massive railway system is expected to accommodate more than 800,000 passengers per day in its first year of full operations, with capacity to service more than 1 million passengers per day in the decades to come. In the process, the NSCR will generate 25,000 direct jobs during construction and close to 10,000 jobs during its eventual operations. Construction is in full swing for the NSCR Manila to Clark segment's 88 kilometers of viaducts, 17 stations, and 2 depots, with all 7 civil works contractors from Japan, South Korea, Spain, and Thailand, partnering with Philippine contractors, already in different stages of construction. Meanwhile, the NSCR's first 8-car train set is on track for delivery by December 2021. Despite the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic on the global railway construction industry, the DOTR and PNR, under the Duterte administration's Build, Build, Build program, have been steadfast in making this almost 2-decade dream of a more comfortable life for every Filipino a reality.